Ducky Runnerz is a precision platformer developed by an old college pal of mine, Paige, aka an occasional gamer. Ducky Runnerz is his first game and he wanted me to review it and let him know my thoughts on it, so here I am. Just because he's an old buddy of mine doesn't mean that I'll suck his dick. To remain as unbiased as possible, I bought the game with my own lunch money, so I'm hungry, please send food. Ducky Runnerz has a pixel art style reminiscent of games on the Game Boy Advance, and judging by Paige's livestream intro, he really likes the GBA, and I do too. I grew up with the thing, so this really hits me on my nostalgia sack. My only complaint is that the pixel sizes aren't consistent. Like if you compare the pixel size of Ducky here with the flags or balloons, it's like they're made on different size pixel grids, or like they're upscaled or downscaled in-game. Otherwise, the game looks good. It's vibrant and each world is distinct from each other. Ducky has different outfits on depending on which power-up she has. Wait, what's the duck's name? Paige, name this duck. The game runs fine too, but I noticed if you keep hitting the Z key after the insert coin screen at the start, the game crashes, so that's gotta be fixed. You play as a mama duck that's had her eggs stolen by raccoons. Your objective is to collect all your eggs in a level before the time runs out, using power-ups along the way. While the concept's simple, getting the movement in a precision platformer right is a whole other thing, and Ducky Runnerz didn't get everything right. Let's start with momentum. Momentum should not be in a precision platformer, because it makes movement, well, imprecise. The default Ducky is fine, but the small Ducky and the Gravity Hut Ducky make the controls feel floaty, and that caused some problems getting into tight spots for eggs. Same goes for the falling speed. There were times where I was ready to double jump only to get my ass spiked instead because Ducky fell just a bit faster than expected. Same with using a jetpack. Actually, I don't know if it's because of the falling speed or the delay of the camera that makes it look like it's falling faster, but that made it hard to tell the speed. Either way, it can be better. The camera is too zoomed in. One of the most important aspects of these games is being able to clearly see where you're going or dropping into. Like here in World 1-5, you're supposed to jump on a trampoline over to the other side, but you can't see where the trash bag projectiles are until the last second, so you gotta open your third eye and guess where the gap is and hope for the best. In World 2-9, you gotta hop on blocks with saw blades rotating around them to get to the other side. The first one you can see, but what about the second one? I guess you just gotta wait for the saw blade to come up first, but wouldn't it be more convenient to be able to see instead of waiting? These fire things that come out of the ground and walls need more telegraphy. You can't see where the fire comes out until it actually comes out. Sometimes I go forward thinking it's safe only to get the duck roasted Beijing style, leaving the eggs to grow up as orphans to be eaten by the raccoons or survive long enough to be sent to a human foster home to be filmed and put online in funny duck videos. And then they get eaten. Having a small fireball or something that causes no damage on where the fire comes out to know where not to stand would be nice. This especially sucks in World 4 where fire is in every level. The minecarts, while it sounds fun on paper, are just miserable here. There are often fires along the minecart tracks and you have to get the timing right to go all the way through unharmed. To me, this is frustrating and I wish I could just control the cart myself. And these sideways minecarts feel finicky to get inside of. Like, you have to be in the exact center of it to get in. Why not just have a regular moving platform? But then I played through World 4-8 and were you trying to do a Donkey Kong Country barrel cannon thing here, Paige? I guess you couldn't figure out how to make that and put this in instead? Man, I think this is one of those kill your baby moments, you know? Like the original concept works, but trying to execute it in another weird way. Gotta trim the fat when you see it. For the level design, I think they're fine for the most part, but there are things that confused me. Death is a part of the gameplay. When you die, the level and timer doesn't restart, you just respawn at your checkpoint and the timer continues until it runs out, and I don't think I've seen a speedrunning game that did it like this before. But then again, I don't usually play these types of games. I think a death system like this prevents players from truly mastering a level. What's more impressive, going through a whole level without dying once, or going through a level completing the objective bit by bit but dying like 100 times in between? Ducky Runnerz is the latter, and I don't associate dying with mastery. It's not like you have to die to progress, but the movement being as unpolished as it is and the amount of hazards there are in the levels, It would be a miracle if you could beat the whole game without dying. I think having a time limit is a mistake. Since deaths don't matter, either does having a fail state. I'm just gonna keep going through the level until I beat it anyway. Having a time limit doesn't really add much to that. Having a regular timer with a medal system instead would be better, I think. That would incentivize people to go faster to get a better medal and improve on their times. And to further improve that incentive, display their times on the level select. Right now there's no incentive at all except for just beating the levels. Some levels could have flowed better. There are times where you have to die to get back to a checkpoint to progress, so it feels kinda sloppy. There are times where you have to connect jumps on raccoons to get over spikes, but the raccoons die and don't respawn until you restart the level or run out of time, so you gotta figure out another way across. These box levels, as I like to call them, are fucking horrible. There aren't that many of them, but when I get to one, I know I'll be bounced around getting pinballed everywhere until I miraculously get all the eggs. They don't fit into a game like this. Also, what the fuck is this, Paige? I can't take this anymore, man. I'm having a headache. Well, I think that's all I got for the game. I do have a few more that didn't fit into any of the sections, so I'll put them here. Fat Ducky feels too heavy. I know that's the point, but she feels like ass to platform with. Ducky doesn't stay on moving platforms for some reason. The gravity hat bugs out and sends Ducky flying as soon as she gets it sometimes, leading to her getting spiked a couple times. Even though I killed this raccoon, the trash bag that's about to be shot out killed me, which is annoying. Why is this checkpoint on a crumbly surface? I just keep dying every time I respawn. And lastly, whatever this was. Despite every complaint I have, I still had fun with Ducky Runnerz. It's a challenging game, though half the reasons why it's challenging is jank related, and I don't think that's what Paige was going for. The game could definitely use more time in the oven, get it polished up and trim some fat off. This is Paige's first game, and it feels like a first game, which is to say, it's about right. Okay, I might sound mean in this video, but I just want you to succeed, so don't give up, Paige. Being a yes man is the worst kind of feedback possible, and you don't want to get jerked around like that. You have a good foundation here. Whether you want to polish everything up or move on to something else, keep going until you have something special. For everyone else who's watching, if you like janky but challenging platformers, give Ducky Runnerz a shot. I would wait for a sale though, maybe when it's like 20% off. I beat it in around 3 hours, so it's short. Get in, get fucked up, and get out. Plain and simple. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Later.